This state flower is semi-parasitic, meaning that it takes some of its nutrients from the plants around it. Do you know which one it is? Before I tell you, hey, I'm Ashley with Meadow and Mountain, and I take state flowers and make designs, something like these stickers, that celebrate them. And today we're talking about Wyoming and the Indian paintbrush. Now, the Indian paintbrush became the Wyoming state flower in 1917. Now, the adoption came because of a Dr. Grace R. Hebard of the University of Wyoming. She was adamant that this should become the state flower and replace actually the wild rose. She actually wrote the bill and found a legislature to promote it. And she was backed by the schoolchildren of the state, plus the Wyoming chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Now, why were they so adamant that the Indian paintbrush should be a part of the Wyoming culture? Well, you can find it in the plains and the mountains of Wyoming. It is resilient in the harsh conditions and just sort of represents the American West. The Native Americans had used it for years as a sort of natural dye. And it just is absolutely beautiful when it's in bloom. Though the bloom time is kind of unpredictable because it really matters how the weather is. There's folklore about how the Indian paintbrush came to be. The story is that an artist was painting in the area of Wyoming and really most of the West, the high western areas. And he left paintbrushes full of paint across the landscape to beautify the landscape as he went. And it really is quite beautiful. As I said, it's semi-parasitic. It attaches to the roots of the plants near it. And while it does make its own food through photosynthesis in its green leaves, it also steals some water and some nutrients from those around it. They do come in reds and pinks and oranges, but the actual Wyoming one is the red. And the red, what you'd think would be petals of the flower, are actually bracts, which are leaves that protect the flowers that are white or green towards the center. They protect those. I love the Indian paintbrush. I grew up with the Indian paintbrush in the mountains of Utah, and so it is definitely a part of what I think of when I think of wildflowers in the mountains. So tell me, have you ever seen the Indian paintbrush in the West? I love telling you these stories of how the state flowers came to be. So check back next week for the next one. See you then.